That's funny. I didn't realize she's done it. She's a good writer. Because when they met, I think they met either here or at 8. I think it was at 8.
All right, we're ready when you are.
I'm sorry. I'm just
Yeah,
chatting up a storm.
that's okay. I love
Daydreaming
it.
on my life
Please.
here.
You're keeping me awake. I've been here for. I like the
So
chat.
when do you get to leave? After this?
No. I have some other things to get done first. So 10:30 or 11.
Yeah. Well, Jim used to work the early shift.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Yes. Do I need to move back?
No, I'm gonna move you this way, so she's looking more at you.
Okay.
He worked He worked with Kenny.
Oh,
So he
okay.
worked
Yeah.
at-
So he did the early.
So, yeah.
Which don't get me wrong, but I mean, we
No,
love it.
but I'll tell you, did you guys see that moon driving in today? When I woke up, because I mean, not that I don't get up early. When you said that, I was laughing at myself. I just work out of the house for a couple hours because I work afternoons a lot.
Oh, right.
And when I got up and I left, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what, it's like I totally forgot how beautiful the morning is.
Yeah, it really is. It is so like crisp and yeah.
Oh, and that full moon?
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh my gosh. It was
Yeah,
breathtaking.
yeah, it is. It really is.
Not that I'm not going to want to do it every day.
Right, exactly. You can only appreciate the moon every so often.
Yeah, every 30 days.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, every 30
Okay,
days.
so we're gonna just keep rolling on this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna just go through all the topics. If
Okay.
we forget something, or I wanted to add, we can just add it in.
That's the best
Like I said,
thing.
everything's gonna be taken.
Okay.
So are we
awesome.
rolling there?
You are rolling.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
So let's start talking about tipping. It is the season
Okay.
of tipping.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, first you got to look at your budget and then who do you tip, who don't you, how much? Lay it all out for us.
Okay, I think when it comes to the holidays, like once Halloween passes, we start getting in this holiday spirit, the holiday mood of like things that we need to do. And then all of a sudden it hits us, and I'm getting so many phone calls this week on actually tipping. Like, oh my gosh, it's like Christmas is like in a week and a half or 2 weeks away. What do I do? Who do I do? And how much do I do it for? And I really just share with people, you want to tip people and show gratitude towards individuals who have enhanced your life, who has sort of made your life easier and help it run smoother this last year. So it could be as simple as the person who delivers your paper, to the person who does your hair, or maybe who gives you a manicure, or childcare, obviously, and even like your postal worker. Like a lot of times people either love or hate their postal service. I particularly am very fortunate. My mail gets delivered at the same time every day, and so we show gratitude to him. Now we need to think about when it comes to postal versus like the person who delivers the paper, there's a difference. Because the postal is a US government employee, they can't receive monetary gifts. Legally, I'm almost positive about
Yeah,
that.
that's correct. Yep,
So
including
we always give them like a box of candy or maybe a scarf or a pair of gloves, depending on what you think their style may be, or something to help keep them warm, especially during this season, is always a nice gift for them. And I think a nice card to show gratitude to that person is really important. And the person who delivers your paper, the paper is an interesting thing now. Whether you get it daily or even just on Sundays is a little different. But I think also to give them a monetary gift is nothing wrong with that. And to maybe hand deliver to them, give it to them when you actually see them, and maybe with a small box of chocolates if you want. The one person that we always seem to forget about, and I actually do it myself, and then in the middle of January, I have something always put away for them, but I always forget to give it to them. And then like at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're moving my snow, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's here. So then I always have a box of chocolates that I run out to him when he's in his truck. And usually you don't see this individual because they usually come, at the odd hours of the night. Right. And that's someone that I always want to always target and remember, that I always keep like a little box of chocolates or something aside for them to nibble on when they're driving from driveway to driveway in the middle of the winter. But you just really want to think about the people that have enhanced your life, the people that have made your life run smoother this last year. Whether you're out working every day or whether you're not, we have our backbone of individuals that we just have to think about.
Right. And I love what you said too, the hand, a card too. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes if your budget isn't, and you can't tip everyone, even just making sure you're saying thank you.
Right.
Is important too. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Oh.
Better your phone than mine.
Yeah, no, it must have been my watch. I was gonna say, I have my phone on silent.
Didn't we teach you anything about etiquette?
I have no etiquette today. I was on my phone. There we go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be silly.
So we did, okay. Oh, I like how you're saying like tipping and gifting. We want to talk about that, like
Yeah.
who gets tips, who gets gifts.
So I think tipping are individuals that you can actually give a monetary amount to. So that is sort of like your hair salon, if you go and get your nails done, if you go and get massages regularly, which we all wish we did, right? Maybe sometimes with childcare, the person, if you are able to have someone clean your house, a person who cleans your house, maybe someone that does your lawn care, things like that are good for monetary gifts. I think gift giving is a little different because these are individuals that A, legally cannot receive money, but B, you might just want to enhance it a little bit. So for example, that may be, your nanny or a babysitter who you have on a regular basis. You may want to give them like a little bit of monetary gift, but I think a gift from the children is always nice, whether it's new mittens, whether it's, some nice formy, warm socks, maybe a cozy blanket, maybe a pillow, something personalized like a frame, candles. Once you get to know the person, whether they can handle those type of fragrances and scents, I think are really great ideas to do a little bit of both for that. And I think experiences are a great gift to give, whether it's to Playhouse Square, whether it's to one of the sporting events, whether it's just tickets to a movie theater, tickets to a restaurant. Giving somebody an experience as a gift is wonderful because those are things that people normally don't do for themselves. They normally don't say, oh, I'm going to go to Playhouse Square this weekend, or I'm going to go buy tickets to go see a movie. People are so wrapped up, as we all are, in getting movies from Netflix, from Redbox, from Hulu, all these different servicing and streaming things, that sometimes to go to a movie is like actually a special treat now, to actually go out to dinner and to a movie on a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon. So I think giving someone experiences is something that nowadays people don't think about as much, or even to give someone to get a manicure. We all say we want to go get a manicure, but we actually don't take the time to do it because it takes time to do it.
Right.
And we don't think about it, then where do we go now to get manicures? It's like, that's a big question, like where do you go to get manicures? If you don't have a person that you go to regularly, can you just call a salon and just pop in, or how does that work? That means you have to make an appointment. It gets just a little hairy sometimes, believe it or not.
Right.
So even though it seems so simple, but giving someone a gift certificate for the experience to a salon is, okay, I know where I'm going, I have it already paid for, I just need to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
And those little things are really kind of like little niceties that people don't think about for themselves.
Very good. All right. Perfect. Anything else on tipping that you think?
I just think sometimes we just need to really acknowledge those individuals and realize that whether you go to the same dry cleaner, I know there's a cobbler, I know, interesting cobbler, but there's a cobbler that I actually go to down in Stark County, and he is amazing, and his pricing is amazing, and I just love acknowledging him at this time of year because, it's a bit of a drive. I go down to Stark County quite often anyways, but it's just his workmanship is so beautiful, and I want him to realize that it really does shine.
Wow.
Put on words there, but does really shine. I just realized after I said that. But those are the little things also that you may not think about, like your cobbler or someone like your dry cleaner, people that provide those services that keep you looking clean and neat, and that's nothing to be taken granted for either.
True. Very good. Your cobbler. I love that.
He actually is a cobbler.
That is so funny. I love it.
If you're ever in Stark County, he's the best.
Yes. All right. So let's start talking about party etiquette.
Okay.
Maybe we should do a story on him, actually. Like, I didn't even know there were cobblers.
He's like right off the thing, and he will charge you like $10 to clean your Ugg boots at the end of the winter.
Oh, wow.
We're like up here, it's like $50.
Yeah.
Like I go down there because my parents are there.
Right.
But he is,
Wow.
he's
that's
like,
awesome.
there are so many times my daughter walks the streets of New York and she'll send me these shoes that are like, were expensive to buy to begin with, just in general. He'll replace the sole and she's just like ready to go again.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, he's like a little treasure, and he has like a little hut. Like, I don't want to say little hut, but I mean, he has a little space.
Yeah. and
His building, and he has a drive-through, but you walk in, or you can walk in, and you wouldn't even, his name's Bill's Cobbler.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like this little hut that is just like there, right out the exit off of Cleveland Avenue. And yeah, but his workmanship is like just beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
his,
good to know.
and his pricing is I mean, it's actually worth the drive,
Yeah, right.
truthfully,
right.
to save that much money.
Heck yeah.
You can go to Haggis, get some candy,
Make
go
a
to
day.
Taggart's, get some ice cream, go to the Pro
Yeah.
Football of Fame.
Yeah.
You
make
don't
a day
waste your
in
time
Canada.
there.
I love it.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's start talking party etiquette.
Okay.
So, all right. You say step one, RSVP.
Yeah, so you get invited to any party, but especially a holiday party. And what sometimes people don't realize is that when you get an invitation, it is one of the most important pieces of mail you're going to get. Because getting invited to a wedding, to a party, to an event is extremely special, and people shouldn't just look at it and poo-poo it as, oh, another invitation. It's actually a very special thing that happens to you when you get invited to a party. So the first thing you need to do is look at it, acknowledge it, look at your date book, obviously, and then RSVP and let the person know that you're coming or not coming. They just want to know, because as a party planner, you want to plan for the party. You want to determine like how the menu's going to be. We going to do buffet, or is it just small enough group that we can sit around the table? You know, how is this all going to work out for me as the party planner? So when you get an invitation, you want to RSVP and let the person know whether you're coming or not coming. But that's not the only thing you're sharing with the individual. You want to share with them how many people are coming to the event. If you happen to have an out-of-town guest that happens to be here that weekend, is it okay that you bring them? If you have a childcare issue, are going to be other children there? Those are little things that you just want to think about with the RSVP. But one of the most important things with the RSVP is if you have a dietary need, just to share it with the host. I wanted to let you know that I'm allergic to cashews, or I'm a vegan now, whatever it may be. You're not telling them what to serve on the menu. You're just giving them information so they can be a good host to you. They want to take care of you. That's their job as a host, and you're giving them information to do that. And once again, you're not saying, oh, you know, I'm this, I can't eat that, please don't serve it. You shouldn't really tell them that. You just tell them, like, you know what? I found out I'm allergic to cashews now, or I found out that you know, lactose intolerant, whatever it may be. And that kind of lets them help them decide the menu as well, so they can take care of you and other people as a guest. Yeah, and that's really important for you as a person going to a party. Because the worst thing, and this has happened, I have gone to parties and the host wasn't quite listening, and I went to a party and literally, like, I think I ate crackers all night.
Oh, gosh.
You know, and
yeah.
it's just because she just didn't like hear my words and thought, oh, you know, there'll be plenty to hear for this person to eat, and others as well.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like, you know, when you go to a party, like besides socializing and having a great time, I mean, the next thing is the food.
Sure. of
You know,
course,
so
right.
you're going with the goal of eating. That's like
Yeah.
on the checklist: socializing, meeting new friends, having fun, eating.
Yeah.
And the food may be at the top, actually.
Right, right. Well, and I like how you say that. It's not being rude because you're not telling them what to serve.
No.
You're just giving them the information so that they know as they're planning the food.
Yeah, they want,
know?
and they want to do it. They may change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
They may make lasagna with, you know, vegan-friendly cheese now instead of the traditional cheese. They may go that little extra mile, so everyone's plate will sort of look the same at the meal, and it won't look as though someone's plate is totally different than everybody else's.
Right.
And that's just making your guests feel comfortable and being considerate.
Very good.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mark.
If I'm invited to a holiday party, do I take a gift to the host?
Hostess gifts. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Were you looking at a cheat sheet?
Yeah, go ahead. No, that's perfect, Mark.
Yeah. So, you know, hostess gifts are an interesting avenue. So when you get invited to a party, not a company party, you do not take a hostess gift to and look and try to track down your boss to give it to them. But at a holiday party, or any kind of party for that matter, actually, it's always nice to take a hostess gift, whether you're staying at someone's house overnight for an extended period of time, or you're just there for a couple of hours. And hostess gifts can be very simple. It could be a bottle of wine, it can be stationery, it could be napkins with their initial on it. If it's a man who is the host, sometimes it's fun to give those decanters with the names like gin and vodka and the different things on it for hard liquor. That's really a nice hostess gift as well. Maybe a bottle opener if you know that they really are into entertaining and do a lot with, alcohol and wines and things and spirits of that nature. Those are always nice gifts to give as well. And another really fun idea is like if you're going to like a potluck, is to prepare your item that you're going to bring in a decorative bowl and then leave that bowl as the hostess gift for the person. So that's kind of fun of giving them a really pretty bowl that you created or that you found, but have the food in there for them so that you don't have to take it back home that night. So those are nice hostess gifts to kids, but you want to be careful with a hostess gift not to make it too elaborate that it's like, oh, this person spent like hundreds and hundreds of dollars just on a hostess gift. You want it to be very simple as a way of saying thank you. But you also don't want to expect if you bring wine or you bring like a bottle of gin or a Kahlua, whatever it is, the host is not obligated to open it up that night. They're just going to put it away for another occasion. So don't feel offense if for some reason like, oh, she didn't open up my bottle of wine or he didn't open up my tequila, whatever it may be. Just to realize that that is not an expectation that should be happening that evening.
And then I have another question. So then that was perfect because I was wondering about that. But as the hostess, do you give a thank you for that gift? Because that gift is sort of a thank you to begin with.
You don't need to do that.
Okay.
To write a thank you for a thank you is sort of like,
Right.
when does it stop, right?
Yeah.
But you just want to realize that maybe if someone went beyond,
Yes.
sometimes it's nice to say, especially if someone came in from out of town. I think a thank you note is always nice for that. I mean, thank you notes are always welcomed at any time from Meisterbook,
Yeah.
but it's like number one on my checklist for everything. A thank you note for people to do because we don't really receive them. And besides an invitation in the mail, getting a thank you note is it's over the moon wonderful. I mean, you can't say enough nice things about receiving an actual letter in the mail that is actually a thank you note. I mean, that's downright the best.
Yeah.
But I think if someone's coming in from out of town, it's always nice to write a thank you note, not only thanking them for the gift, but thanking them for making the effort to come in from out of town and to attend the event is, I think, a really nice thing to do. Because that person not only drove 2 blocks or walked, across the street to the party,
Right.
but they actually thought and to extend themselves to do that. And I think sometimes those are just really special thank you notes because it really tells the person, like, you drove 2.5 hours from Columbus to come to Cleveland for a holiday party. That was, like, really sweet of you to do. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that. And I really appreciate the fact that you did that. And I think those little kind of thank you notes are always nice as a follow-up when someone has gone that extra mile.
Gotcha.
For your
Okay.
party, because that is really nice. And even like for weddings and bridal showers, even if you're not the bride and you're not writing the thank you note, but if you see that like a cousin flew in from across the United States or someone did something that they didn't have to do, I think those kind of thank you notes are always appreciated.
Very much so. Oh, that's great. I'm going to use some of these bullet points, I think, just as a...
Oh yeah,
as
there's so many.
talking points. And then, okay, so then I think I like this, okay, holiday survival and manners for your kids. So this is what Maureen and I were just talking about. Okay, so,
Over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine.
yeah, we were just saying too, okay, so I love this, holiday party tips. So first, I think what you even said, just making sure, is this kid-friendly, not kid-friendly? You know, how
Yeah.
the invites are written to look for that. But then, how do you prepare your kids to go to like a holiday party
Okay.
and be grateful? And
Yeah, I think when it comes to the holidays, there's so many things that are special.
Yeah.
Once Halloween leaves us and we're like in this mode. I actually think like when November 1st comes, it's like all of a sudden like it hits you.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, you see holiday like, oh, the walnuts are on sale. I'm going to buy an extra couple, packs of walnuts, whatever it may be that is preparing you for what's going to happen like 6 months, 8 months from now. I mean, 8 months, I'm sorry, 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Like,
that's
am I
okay.
talking about 8 months from now, right? 6 weeks. But I think when it comes to kids, it's like as soon as Halloween leaves, like their mind is like they're making things in school, they're doing crafts, they're already like, their brain is thinking about the holidays. And there's so much to do with them. And every age group has its own little circle of fun for them. But I think as a parent, your job is to have good common sense when it comes to the holiday. Your job is to really think what is best for my family. when it comes to the holidays and all the things that are required or what people are asking of you. And saying no to invitations there's nothing wrong with that. You have to think what's really best for you and your family and where they can really get the most enjoyment out of, but where they're really going to just be their best, is what I'm trying to say. And so you have to think like, okay, if we go to one holiday party, that may be good enough for one day versus having to hit 3 holiday parties. If we happen to go down to see the Christmas Story house, on the West Side, and then go see the show, that might be too much in one day. Maybe do one day to prepare for going to the next.
Yeah.
If you take your child to the theater, which I think is a beautiful thing to do, you would just want to prepare them. We're going to the theater. The room is going to be very large. The seats are going to be very cushiony. They have like these little seats that you can sit in, like these plastic sit-up seats that you're going to be able to sit in. It may be a little bit loud. There's going to be clapping. There's going to be lots of people around us. We will get to eat snacks in our seat. There are restroom breaks when we first get in and at intermission. You just want to prepare them for the lights and the sounds because the holidays are very stimulating. And for some people, that is just too much. There's a lot of scent. There's a lot of flowers, a lot of potpourri, a lot of perfume that sometimes it just gets to children and adults as well.
Yeah.
So you want just to think like, okay, we're going to go see the Christmas Story. Let's go visit the house on the West Side, and then we'll go down and see the movie, and maybe even show them the movie if they're old enough to see the movie to prepare them what's going to happen. Even the fact that with the BB gun, I mean that, now it was very innocent and non-alarming, but now it is an alarming issue to think about. So we just want to prepare our kids for what's going to happen. Even if they go to the zoo, it's going to be cold, it's going to be dark, there's going to be lots of beautiful lights, we may hear animal sounds, we may not, and there's going to be lots of other people walking around just to prepare them what's going to happen. Whatever the event is you're going to go to, I think preparation is #1 key on what is going to be, whatever that event is going to be, whether it's a zoo, whether it's a Playhouse Square, whether you're going to a Christmas party and there's a dog that's jumping on your child. We're going to someone's house, they have cats, they have this one dog that's a little bit hyper. When you walk in, the dog's going to jump on you right away, and then we're going to push him down, and then he'll be fine. Just letting them know, like, again, like we're going over to this house, we know they have the dog always jumps on you, then we put the dog down, and then the dog is fine. Those little things just kind of like prepare, like, oh, yeah, that's right. We think that they remember all these events that they've gone to, like they remember last year going to this person's house, but remember, this is a child that is like maybe 7. Do they remember really what happened when they were 6 at the holidays? And is that a priority for them to remember going to that house versus all the gifts they opened up? But just realizing all the different events you want to do. But it really, once again, boils back to just having really good common sense as a parent and not giving your child more than they can handle, and also giving yourself more than you can handle. Allocating for food, nutrition, naps, change of clothes. Maybe too many clothes, taking off some of the layers when you go inside somewhere. What are you going to do with these clothes? All these little things that are just going to make the event and that day run smoother. Most likely they'll always fall asleep on the way home in the car seat, which is a beautiful event when you turn around and you see their, their mount, which shows that they had a good time. They were wore out. They enjoyed themselves 100% But we just want to, once again, just think about what is good and what is too much. And realize that we understand all these experiences, but an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, even someone in high school, if you take one of the experiences away, is it really going to damage and upset them that much that they're going to miss it over the holidays? They may not even realize that that was even on the agenda to do. And just even think about like when you're going out of town. I know I'm the youngest of 7 children. So when I used to go out of town to visit my family, it was a lot of stimulation. 7 kids, 7 spouses, all their children, their grandparents. There's a lot going on in one household. And realizing that not everybody's into large crowds like that. So maybe to take some books or private games if they want to go into another room, just to have some quiet time, it's okay to do that. You don't have to be around everybody all the time.
Yeah.
And just understanding that maybe you want to take some of your own food with you. Maybe you know that the kind of food you're going into, the house you're going into, is maybe too much junk food, maybe too much fried food, whatever
Right.
it may be, that you may not want to have for your child, every single day of the week over Christmas break.
Sure.
So those little things just make the transition to keep a schedule as well, a normal schedule happening for the holidays for kids.
It's a great teaching moment too for kids as far as learning gratitude.
Yeah.
And saying thank you for gifts, even if you don't like it.
Right.
And things like that.
Definitely.
Too.
I mean, that goes without
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
the thank you for gifts.
Yeah.
But it's just, the holidays are just so beautiful, but they're a lot of stimulation. And people don't realize that when you walk into the theater and you're sitting next to someone who has too much cologne on, or you walk into the theater and you have like all these Christmas trees with all this potpourri and all this scents,
Yeah.
that can really get to just anybody, but sometimes for children, it's even more so.
Right. Sure. No, this is good. Mark, anything else?
Yeah.
No, I think you hit it.
All right. Thank you.
Holidays are over with and
Yay.
everybody
Now
is
we can
well.
move-